And I'm live. Hello, everybody. Bring up the chat. This is gonna be a bit of a change today from the usual stream. No exercise today. No bike today. Yesterday, I almost threw my knee out twice, and Tygra suggested that I give it a rest. I let my knee have some recovery time until I figure out what's going on with my knee. So I'll be back at it tomorrow, exercising. But today I have to give it a rest because I was in the kitchen yesterday and my left knee buckled on me twice. I don't know why, and I know that I've still got my kneecaps. As I said before in previous streams, I was in a car accident and the airbags deployed, and because I was in such a small car at the time, it slammed into my knees, and ever since then I've been having knee issues. So because yesterday when I was pedaling on the bike in the morning, my left knee would sometimes have this shooting pain in it, and it's been like that for years. So because I almost threw my knee out twice, Tygra suggested that I sit today out, let it rest. And so no bike pedaling today, but I'll just chat and we'll see. Hello, welcome to the stream. In fact, let me don my headset so I can hear anybody that comes to Discord. In the links in the description below, I have a invite link to my Discord server. I'm in there right now in the Bike with Mike room, and it'll allow anyone who joins the server in, up to 20 people. If I have to up that, I'll up it. But yeah, I think I'll chat today. It's me from MeWe. Okay. Hey, someone else from MeWe. I like MeWe a lot. For one thing, they are a no agenda social network. They don't have a political corporate agenda. They were co-founded by Tim Berners-Lee, the father of the World Wide Web. They are focused on no censorship, and they don't run ads, so they don't have to kowtow to corporate masters or advertisers like Google does with YouTube, and that has caused a lot of chaos. And they make money by selling like themes and emote packs. They have like a $1.99 subscription for unlimited voice calling, actually unlimited video calling. And they also sell like additional cloud storage space. And of all the images I posted to a lot of the anime groups I'm in, the storage space that you get, the cloud storage space that you get with MeWe, goes a long way, because I posted a lot of stuff and I'm barely using it. From what I understand, that they apply some kind of compression algorithm to it, and it's a very good compression algorithm, because the storage space that you get is not all that much, but it goes a long way. Anyway, I really like the site, and it's got all the features that Google Plus used to have before that disastrous UI change. Because Gamers Bay used to have significantly more members than we currently do now, and we lost about almost 1,000 members, about 800 and something members after the UI change to Google Plus. So they ripped out Hangouts so that communities didn't have chat, and there's a lot of other really neat features that Google Plus used to have. MeWe has them all. MeWe has them all. So I really like it. And they actually listen to their users. They actually have a means of communication. They have a group for communication. They actually listen to them, and they actually respond to suggestions. Like I might have a issue with bright light because of my vision. Because me and Tygra both. Tygra more so than me. Tygra was born albino. I was born borderline albino. I had white hair just like him when I was born. It eventually turned dark. But the spot in the back of the eye where light focuses, mine is still bleached white instead of black. And so we're both very light sensitive, so staring at bright white stark screens is an issue. We sometimes use we can use dark themes in a lot of pages. I use the night theme on YouTube all the time. And there's a night theme. It's like 99 cents on MeWe, so I picked that up because I wanted to support the site. So I grabbed the night theme, and I was asking them, why could you implement a night theme for those of us who have, light sensitivity and everything? Because a lot of sites are implementing a night theme. And they told me, hey, we have a dark theme out there. It's like 99 cents. It's tuned for the page. And I go, okay, I want to support MeWe, so I threw them that 99 cents. I think it was 99 cents or $1.99. I think it was 99 cents. And I threw that their way because I wanted to support them, and it works really nice. I also have Dark Reader, which is a add-on for Chrome, and it has different modes. It has like different filters. It has a dynamic filter plus, which uses your graphics card for assistance, and it will try to run any web page, virtually any web page, in dark mode. And if there are pages where it just doesn't work, then you can add it to the list of pages not to do that to. I set the YouTube and a variety of other pages to that because they already have dark modes, or the Dark Reader just doesn't work with them right. Anyway, the topic I wanted to talk about today, what I was going to talk about riding my bike, but I can't because of my knee. What I wanted to talk about is this freaking ISP. Now, yesterday morning I streamed just fine. I had an audio issue. That wasn't because of the ISP. That was because my stupid self accidentally ripped out the cord for my mic. This thing. So I accidentally ripped out the cord, and I didn't even know I did. And so people weren't able to hear me very well until I actually plugged it in. That was like halfway through the damn stream. But I streamed yesterday, and I said I was going to play Apex Legends later on. And I wanted to start about 3 or 4. Well, I didn't get to start until 5. Well after 5. Like 5:30 or so. And the reason for that is because I was sitting in here and I was getting prepped to do the stream, and Tygra calls me up in his, the home intercom from his room, and he says he's having problems with YouTube. He's having problems with connections. He's also doing a project that requires a constant connection. He's working on something. It uses .NET and some other stuff, and he needs a constant connection to a remote server for it, because he does software development. And I came on and I started a script I have. I didn't make this script, I found it. It's called Pretty Ping. Let me capture a window here. Show it to you. Where is it? Oh, that's not it. There it is. It's this. And this has been running all night. And it's a shell script. I run Linux exclusively as my daily driver. It's running on my laptop. The laptop was from System 76. They are a system builder that deals only in Linux. So they shipped with Ubuntu, and I've got the latest version of Ubuntu on here, the latest long-term support version. It's 1804. And I found this shell script like about a year, or more than a year ago, actually 2 or 3 years ago, and it visualizes your ping. And so whenever we have connection issues, I run this, and it lets us know if we're having any connection problems. Now, I've got 2 going. One is going to cable1.net. Our ISP is cable 1, and cable1.net is within their network. So if their connection to the outside internet goes down, you can still get to the Cable 1 website. The other terminal window I have open is pinging to Shields Up. That's from Gibson Research, and they do a lot of security stuff. There's a lot of security tests that you can run on your computer, your router on there. They also do some other software. They had some, I forget the name of the software that they had on there. It was the gold standard for system recovery for a long time. It's since been replaced by DD Rescue as one of the best disk data rescue software. But I'm pinging there because it's outside the Cable 1 network. So I've got both going. I've had both going last night, and the pings were awful yesterday. We called Cable 1, which we have to do a lot, and we pay an enormous amount of money for a business account with unlimited bandwidth and no data caps, because otherwise we would have data caps and limited bandwidth, and we consume a lot of data because we do streaming, and we watch mostly streamed content. We have DirecTV, but we're thinking of getting rid of it because we barely use it. You know, we might use it for watching local TV, but we could just as soon get a boosted antenna for that, for getting local channels. Or we could subscribe to something like YouTube TV, which is now available in the area for like $40, which is a fraction of the cost that we're paying for this thing. With the DVR box, and it has the little satellite boxes that we have in our rooms so that we can also watch it in our rooms. We're paying like almost $200 and something for that, and our internet is more than the rent for the lot for this trailer. And we're getting 220 down and 20 up. on our internet. You know, and we expect better service than what we're getting, because we've been having this same connection issue for a long time. There were times when I wanted to stream and I couldn't because it was just completely screwing up. There were just so many timeouts on the connection that I just could not maintain a good connection, and there was too much buffering, and eventually it just broke connection altogether. And I had to restart the stream. And so yesterday it was really awful. We called Cable One support. They sent a technician out. Actually, they sent a technician out pretty quickly. I'm surprised at how fast they were able to respond. Guy came out, checked everything outside, to let you know exactly what's happened in the past with everything. We have had the cable, which is a coax line, going from the modem to the terminal on the outside of the house. We've had that replaced. We've had the coax splitters replaced, because they use a coax splitter for going to the modem that is for data and the modem that is for our phone. We have a landline phone, but which we don't really use it. It's a business line, but we don't really use it, and it's usually off because we get nothing but spam calls on it. And we just use our cell phones mostly. And we've had the drop line that goes from the box on the outside the house to the pedestal where it interconnects to their network. We've had that replaced twice. That was replaced very recently. And now we've had our modem replaced. I think this is our second or third modem that we've had replaced. The only things we have not replaced yet are our routers. We have two routers. We have one router that is our DMZ. That is set up, configured on a separate network. So that is a DMZ for when we do laptop support here. We'll occasionally get someone in who needs some work done on a laptop, or their computer or their desktop computer, because we do a little bit of repair. Where both me and Tygra have extensive background in IT, technical support, computer repair, and everything. And the other router is our Wi-Fi router, and it's the main router for the entire network. It's it's one of those higher end Netgear routers, and it's all gigabit network. All of our hubs, everything around the house, are enterprise grade network hubs, or network switches. Actually, they're all gigabit network switches. And we're using all Cat 5e or Cat 6 cables. So we know what we're doing when it comes to networking. I mean, we're not, noobs at this. We're not layman's when it comes to this. We know what we're doing. We've worked in IT I've worked in IT since '95. And he's been in IT and computer programming since about the same time. So we both have lots of experience in it. We're not certified network professionals, but we know what we're doing. And so at this point, the only things that can be ruled out is either one of those routers or that pedestal outside, which one technician said was in bad shape. And supposedly it was scheduled to be replaced, but nothing's been done. So the next time we have a problem with it, we're going to call them, tell them, hey, you've replaced all the equipment between the pedestal and our internal network. And we've had this issue for a couple of years. We had a signal to noise issue for a long time. When we were at a different place, there was a problem with a house somewhere in the neighborhood that was like producing a feedback sound over the line that was like affecting everybody in the area. That was causing them to have connection problems. And this was before I started doing all this stuff on YouTube. Before I started doing streaming and videos and stuff for Gamers Day. And we had those issues. So, at this point, it's the pedestal, most likely. Now, we have a drop line ready. We rigged up a drop line so that if we start having these problems again, what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the network from the modem. We're going to connect my laptop directly to the modem. And we're going to monitor the pings with my Pretty Ping script. And if we still have the issue, then we know it's nothing in our network. It's nothing within our network. It is something on Cable One's end. It is probably that damn pedestal out there, because it's the only other thing that hasn't been replaced. And our internal network works fine. Our internal network works fine because we use RDP, we use remote desktop software to connect to the Threadripper machine in there. That is for video editing and everything. It also has the green screen set up for when I do green screen work, when I do Random Thoughts, or when we do the Zorch Central show and some other stuff. Whenever I use that, that's got that set up in there, and that's a good machine for video editing. So I use Adobe Premiere on there. Well, the screens are awful that we have set up in there. We need to replace them, but we don't have the money to replace both of them now because we have two. And their backlight is really harsh, and they're smaller screens, and they're 1080p screens. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. These are 720 screens that we're using now in here. But those screens are 1080p, and the backlight's really harsh, and it's just hard to look at them. So what we did was we enabled remote desktop in Windows, and we tried the native remote desktop client in Windows 10 to connect to that machine. Well, it's a piece of shit. No surprise. The RDP server on Windows is just fine. It's perfect. But their client software is a piece of crap. It won't stay connected properly. But we use, on the Windows desktop that I use, and Tygra uses the same thing. He uses mremote NG, and on Linux I use Reminia. And both are like smooth as silk. They're as fast as if you're actually sitting in front of the machine. There's no lag, no delay. I can do video editing, and I even get audio. I even get the audio. It's down mixed into stereo, but I get the audio from the video that I'm editing, and there's no lag, none. So if our network was having issues, if our network was the problem, doing something like that would exasperate it. And we have Plex set up. We just recently set up Plex. We're still working on that machine, because we used to have Plex on the old server, and we're going to put it back on here. We used to have our own media wiki, which is the engine that runs Wikipedia. They actually make that available for people to run their own private or to run their own wikis or to run their own private wikis. We have a private wiki for our own internal use here. We haven't had that set up in a long time, so we're getting that working. So ISP screwed up yesterday, and it wasn't until like 5:30 when the technician finally left, and it looked like it was starting to calm down the connection issues. So I decided to stream a little bit, and when I ended the stream and I looked, OBS was still having problems. There were still some timeouts happening. I didn't get kicked from Apex Legends though, which is weird. That's really weird. I saw some weird effects, like members of my squad, some occasionally jumping around, teleporting. But other than that, I didn't have any other problems. But still, it's an issue. With as much as we pay for this ISP, as much as we pay for it, it's like we should get a lot, and it's a business account. We should be getting a lot better service. And this is Texas. This is the home of Verizon Fios. By rights, Fios should be available from border to border here, but it's not, because these corporate ISPs, they only give a damn about the areas where they'll get the most money, the urban areas. They only give a damn about those places, and they only move out to the urban regions whenever they're forced to, and they should be forced to. In fact, by rights, they should be in all the urban areas, because they were given the money to set up high-speed internet out here. Back in the 90s, there was the Telecommunications Act, and they were given a lot of money by Congress. Telecommunications companies were given a lot of money by Congress to bring high-speed internet from coast to coast everywhere in the country, not just in certain places, but everywhere. And those companies squandered all of that. They squandered all of it. And so you've got places, there are some places where you can only access the internet with dial-up. Seriously, there's some places where the only internet access is still dial-up. So things like America Online, connecting with America Online or Net Zero, that's still a thing in some places. That is still a thing. Calling up a regular ISP with a 56K or better modem, that's still a thing in a lot of places. And there is HughesNet, satellite internet, but that is heavily metered, and it's not good for a lot of things. It's good for like streaming video, but you can't play games on it. You can't play games on it because of the way it broadcasts packets over the network. It is not good for gaming. Not good for gaming at all. Good for video, good for browsing the web, but not good for gaming. And the bandwidth limits and everything, especially during the day, is just absolutely shit. Because I know somebody that has it, and he does most of his bulk downloading. Most of his bulk downloading and video watching, he does it in off hours where they don't impose data limits. And he's in an area where there's no other ISP other than satellite. So at least we don't have to use that here. At least we have a cable cable TV, cable modem service. We don't have the TV portion. We just have the cable internet portion. There is Windstream, but they're as bad or worse than Cable One, from what I understand. Their connection is down most of the time. So, you know, people would say, well, why don't you move to some place that's got, you know, better internet? And we'd like to. There's a reason for us being in this area. For one, we are at a latitude where we're not far enough north to get a lot of snow. We get maybe a little bit once a year. And we're not far enough south to where we will be, you know, heavily impacted whenever there's a hurricane, or we won't be, you know, sweltering in the heat. And we're not far enough east that will also be sweltering in the heat, because there's a lot of desert in Texas to the east. We're more towards, we're in the west. More in the west. We're further east. So we get a lot of humidity from the Gulf, but we're not sweltering too severely in the heat, and we're not freezing too badly in the winter here. We're in that narrow band. And also, there's something about this region. We've observed this ever since moving here. There is something weird about this region where when storms roll through, they will weaken the moment they enter this region. They'll weaken. And then when they pass, they will suddenly puff up, boost in power, and just slam the hell out of Arkansas. There's something about this region where the storms, it's really bad. It'll come through, they'll weaken, diminish, and when they pass a certain point, they build right back up almost immediately. We don't know what it is about this area that's doing this, you know, and it seems to be localized to around Texarkana. We don't know what's causing it. We have no idea what's doing it, but it happens consistently. There was maybe one time where the storm was just so strong. That one time, it was a couple of years ago. We had to evacuate to the community center, and there was sirens going off because of a tornado warning. And there was a tornado in the area. It didn't come anywhere near us, but the rain was just coming down in sheets. You couldn't see across the road to the other houses. It was coming down that hard. It was like years ago, a hurricane skirted along the East Coast past DC, and we were living in Maryland, like literally right next to Washington DC. And I went outside because someone came to our apartment. It was me and Dave were sharing an apartment then, and Tygra had a condo. And so we were sharing an apartment, and someone came to our door and said, "Someone's messing with your vehicle out there." So I grabbed my umbrella, I go outside, and there's like sheets of rain coming down because of this hurricane. And it's like you can't see more than a couple of feet in front of you. And I go out there, and the vehicle's fine. But then there's this other vehicle sitting there, and I see this person wandering around the car. So I head over that way. They see me. I can barely see them, but they see me. And they run to the vehicle that's sitting there. It was some kind of, I think it was one of those Jeeps. I think it was a Jeep Cherokee or something like that. And they jumped in and drove off. I had my phone with me. I was gonna get a picture of the license plate, but I couldn't because I couldn't see it very well, and also they just took off too quickly. Anywho, the rain was coming down that hard. It was coming down that hard. Usually around here, when it rained really bad, our internet would just completely become useless. It's gotten better now because they've upgraded the network around here to digital from analog. But we're still having problems. Back, I'm not seeing. OBS is still showing green light. Connection still. There's occasional timeouts. There's 2, 1. If it starts getting bad again, like it did yesterday, we're going to connect that line from the modem into here, and I'm going to run those tests. Continue to run those tests and see, you know, if we're getting this with me having a direct connection to our modem. And that's a new modem. I know I've been talking a lot of technical stuff on here because, you know, me and Tygra, we're both techies. Anyone who's joining the chat, I'm not doing. Anyone is basically joining the stream. Not doing any exercise today because I almost threw my knee out twice yesterday. And Tygra suggested that I give my knee a rest. So today I'm still streaming. I don't want to get out of the habit of not doing that. I really don't. So I'm still streaming, even though I'm not on the exercise bike. It's over here up underneath Kitty's little shelf that her little windowsill bed that she sits in. That has a little heating pad in it. It's one of those. It uses only like 5 volts of power. The same amount of power that a typical USB charger uses, and it stays at room temperature until a sensor detects cat laying on it. Then it will get warmer, and she loves this thing. She'll lay on it and sleep on it all night. Because when she was a kitten, she climbed in the refrigerator without us knowing when we had it open, and we discovered she was in there because of Dave, and ever since then she was in there for like 5-10 minutes, and she was cold when I brought her out. Like, I opened the door and I picked her up and brought her out, and I held her under my shirt and stuff to get her nice and warm, and she was just shivering. She was a tiny little thing about yay big. And ever since then, she has hated being cold. If it is cold in here because we're running the air conditioner, she will bug the hell out of me to hold her to keep her warm. Or she'll get up on her thing, and lay on it, and it'll warm her up. Right now the only person that I saw in chat is Rusi from MeWe. I haven't seen any of the other people who are regulars who show up from the UK on Mixer. Anyway, it's a very different kind of stream, and as I said, even though I'm not on the exercise bike, I don't want to get out of the habit of doing these streams in the morning, because it's too easy to go, I don't have to do the exercise thing today because of such and such and such, so I just won't stream today. No, I don't want to get out of that habit. Because this is a everyday thing, and even though I'm not on it, I can still talk. And even if there's no one on the other end listening, I can still at least, it's still helps me up here with the whole thing with the depression and everything. I mean, same thing goes for Jerry Berg, aka Barnacles. And I talk him about a lot because, you know, even though he doesn't like Trump, I don't hold that against him. He's a nice guy. I'm not a huge diehard America Trump supporter. I'm supportive of some of the things he does. I don't like everything that he does. You know, I'm not like that. But he's better than the alternative. We would have been screwed with Clinton. With the stuff that's coming to light about her, what she's been involved in, we wouldn't have wanted her in the White House. Definitely not. And that's the limit of how political I'm going to make this video. I'm going to end it there. Just saying, yeah, the stuff that's coming out about her right now, and about the Clinton Foundation, and stuff stuff they're finding in the investigation, which they are investigating that right now. We didn't want her anywhere near the White House, and that's the extent of what I'm going to say about that. So, oh, what else did I want to say today? Gonna say a lot more. I mean, gotta do something else because I can't use the bike today till whatever it is with my knee heals up. I gave my impressions of Apex Legends yesterday when I played it. Ow. I liked it. I liked Apex Legends. Yesterday when I did the stream, the first time died almost immediately, and squad mates, one of our squad mates did not come back and resurrect us, and the guy on the voice chat was telling them, hey, come back and resurrect us and you won't be able to win this without it. And they died. The person, we watched them in spectator mode, and they were running around collecting stuff. They weren't even bothering trying to bring us back, and died. You know, the game rewards you if you play as a team, and if you don't, it penalizes you. Not in the mechanics, but in the fact that you're incentivized to work as a team rather than going lone wolf all by yourself. Because if you are ambushed by another squad, you know, your character that you play is not so overpowered that you can overpower the others. You know, and if they're really skilled players, and the skill really comes into this, they're really skilled players. Doesn't matter, you know, who you are, they're gonna take you down. So running off lone wolf like that person did, yeah, got him killed, and they lost the match. As to the second time I ran through the game, I was with another team, and we stayed together, and they made sure that we all stayed together, and we actually made it near almost to the end. We all got killed off by another squad. We were one of the 2 squads left in the map at one point, and we got into a skirmish with another team, and they caught us in a crossfire, and we all got killed. So we were number 2 on the map. It was the closest I came to actually being in the winning team ever since playing the game. So it is fun. There's a lot of strategy to it. I like that you can ping enemies, you can ping objects in the world. Like you can find armor, weapons, ammo, and everything, and you can ping them so your other squad mates can find it and pick it up. It's a fun game. It introduces a lot of new little changes, innovations to battle royale that I think the genre really needed, because the battle royale genre is a little, I'd say, not just a lot oversaturated right now with a lot of same games. Same as in they're very much alike one another. Like PUBG and Fortnite are a lot alike. Now there are some other differences between them because of, Fortnite has the whole building mechanic to it. But essentially most battle royale games are all essentially the same thing. They're all essentially the same kind of game. I mean, whether you're playing Blackout on Black Ops 4, or you're playing PUBG, or you're playing Fortnite, it's very much the same formula. Whereas this, it's squad based. There's a lot of strategy to it. Your teammates can call out enemies when they sight them. When they find them, they can ping them so that your squad knows they're there. You can call out items in the map for them to come and pick up. If they need to pick up stuff. You can resurrect dead squad members, and there's a little bit of strategy to that, because you have to get their banner off. They drop a chest when they die with all their loot in it. You grab their banner, you go to a resurrection point, and you have to defend that point while you wait for your teammate to be resurrected, flown in a dropship and dropped down and everything. So there's a lot of strategy to that, and and also you have your various classes that you play, various characters that you play, that sort of hero character, legends they call them. So there's a little bit of Overwatch in the game. There's a little bit of Borderlands to it, because it's has some Borderlands aspects to it. It's a little bit of Fortnite, a little bit of PUBG. It's no new radical ideas, but it's a mix mash of ideas from different game genres and different battle royale games, all mushed together, and it's created something that's resonated with a lot of people. That they've had 10 million players. They hit 10 million players, and they have like 2.4 to 3 million concurrent players who are on all the time. They've had up to 10 million download the game and play it. So it's a roaring success, and their microtransactions are not pay to win. They are all cosmetic. They do have loot boxes. Do have paid loot boxes, but they're the most non-EA loot boxes I've seen. For one, they give you front and center. They give you the chances of getting stuff. Plus, you're guaranteed at least one rare item with each one. You're guaranteed a rare item with each one. And it's all cosmetics. It's all either emotes, it is animations, there's kill animations, basically finishing moves. So when, if you get an enemy on the ground, when they're not dead, but they're on the ground, they're still able to move around, there are kill animations. when you kill them off. So you have those, you have emotes, you have banners that go behind your, you have banner graphics that go behind your, the image of your legend that you can have. There's skins for your weapons and everything like that. They don't actually sell guns in their store. So they're very non-EA-esque microtransaction. It's a free-to-play game, and you'd expect microtransactions in a free-to-play game. That's where you expect them at, not in a $60 game. You'd expect something like DLC from a $60 game, but you'd expect DLC, but not microtransactions. But these are microtransactions in a game that is free to play, and right now, this game is saving EA's cookie, because EA was not looking good there. Their stocks were flatlining. They were headed, down because of Battlefield 5 and the whole thing with Battlefront 2 and the whole thing with FIFA. They were going down. They were going down. It was not looking good for them. It's not looking good for Activision either. Activision laid off like around close to 800 employees. And that's because they had they posted record revenue, yet they went and laid off about 778 employees from, I think it was from High Moon, from within Activision, High Moon, and Blizzard. And they are just eviscerating the whole esports division within Blizzard, which is what really helped put Blizzard on the map. It's like they killed off Heroes of the Storm, which reinvented the whole MOBA genre. They are in the process of killing off Hearthstone. I mean, what the heck, Activision? I'm happy that Bungie got away from them, and they were able to keep the Destiny 2. They were able to maintain the Destiny 2 IP. I'm glad they got away from them. I haven't played that game at all, but I am glad that they got away. And I'm interested to see what they will do now that they are no longer with Activision. I don't think they need a publisher. In this day and age, you really don't need a publisher. You really don't need one. They can survive just by selling their game digital only. They don't need someone to print discs for them. I know that there are a lot of gamers out there who prefer having physical media for their game consoles and stuff, but it's an era that's going away. GameStop is on its last legs. GameStop likely won't survive another year with the way things are going. So GameStop's going away. Unless something radically changes, GameStop's dead. Essentially, they failed to say that they failed to sell the company. They failed to secure the financing to make the company attractive to buy, and that's a death knell. Whenever that happens, historically, that's a death knell for a company. So I don't expect GameStop to survive much longer. I don't. They're not going to survive. So. And PC gaming has gone full digital. There are a few games that are still physical, like my copy of Final Fantasy XIV is the retail version, the physical retail version. And because of weird issues with the codes, I can't register the Steam code on my account. I can't mix the Steam version with the retail version. So I have to buy a retail copy, which actually doesn't come with a disc. It just gives you a code. And you input that code into the MOG station, the Final Fantasy XIV MOG station, and that activates the game or any expansions that you purchased. So that's what I'm going to be doing when I pre-order. I'm going to be, probably not this month, but next month I'm going to pre-order Shadowbringers for Final Fantasy XIV. And that will give me a code that I will then go to the MOG station, enter that code in, and then that content will be activated. And then when early access to the expansion comes, I'll just start the launcher, Final Fantasy XIV launcher, and it will automatically download the whole expansion. Those who pre-order it will get early access to the expansion. But Bungie could go straight digital only. In fact, now that they are on their own, they could put Destiny 2 on Steam. They can put Destiny 2 in the Epic Store. They can put Destiny 2 in the Discord store, on GOG. They could really make it available everywhere. You know, for PC. They could make it available everywhere. And I don't think it's still a PS4 exclusive, so they could even make it available for Xbox. They could do Destiny 2 for Xbox. I don't know if it's already there, or they could, unless they've got some console exclusivity deal with Sony for that. But they don't need a publisher. I mean, look at Digital Extremes. Digital Extremes tried to find a publisher for their game, for Warframe. They couldn't get one, so they decided to go on their own and make it a free-to-play game. And guess what? You know, they are now one of the biggest free-to-play games out there. I mean, for a lot of people who were disappointed with the first Destiny, they consider Warframe better. And Warframe has been really improving a lot lately. And all their content is free. They don't charge for all that content. And their microtransactions are actually pretty fair. There's no real pay to win in their microtransactions. They actually pulled a microtransaction. They actually pulled one that was detrimental to the game's balance. And they did so based on player input. So, yeah, and they are flourishing. And they're doing so without a publisher. And look at them. They became one of the #1 MMO lights on PC. And now they are on consoles. They're on the PlayStation 4. I think they're on Xbox. And they're also on the Nintendo Switch. So they just recently went to the Nintendo Switch. So it's possible to do it without a publisher. So Bungie can do it. Bungie can do it without a publisher. Anyway, yeah, I've been on here about an hour. Anyone who's joined the stream, I am not on my bike because of my knee. And so I'm giving my knee a rest. I didn't want to get out of the habit of not doing these live streams. So that's why I'm doing it and chatting and talking instead. I don't want to get out of the habit of just saying, oh, well, I can't exercise today, so I'm just not going to stream. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into that habit. Anyway, for everybody who's joined and watched today, especially to Rusi from over on YouTube who came from MeWe, I want to thank you for joining. Usually get a lot of people in here. I had a lot of people in here yesterday, but that's all right. I mean, that's perfectly fine for me. Because doing this actually helps. It helps the mental state and everything. Which, that leads me into that part of the show where I say, if you are having issues, if you are having problems with depression, if you are having self-esteem problems because of this, the way, basically, don't bottle it up. I bottled it up for a long time. I didn't even know that I had depression until I watched Barnacules Nerdgasm talk about his depression, and I realized, hey, that's exactly what was happening to me. That's what was my problem. I've had depression. It came back with a fury last year, and I got sick and tired of the way I felt. I felt like crap. I was ballooning, getting fluffy, and I was feeling like absolute garbage. And I was not productive on my channel or Gamers Bay for a long time because of it. And I got sick and tired of it. So that's why we changed our diet. I started doing these exercises. I did one show of Bike with Mike, and then I stopped. And now I'm back. I'm doing this every day. Not today because of my knee. But I'll be back on it tomorrow. I'm going to be back on the exercise bike tomorrow, and I'll be back at 9 a.m. Central again tomorrow, and then I'll take Saturday and Sunday off, and then I'll be back on Monday. But yeah, if you have depression, it helps to talk to people. It helps to have positive people around you who will help you, who will listen to you, who will be sympathetic to what you have to say. And it really does help. It really does help to talk. Bottling it in, holding it in, only hurts you. I've been to dark places. I've been to very dark places. And so it helps to have people who are supportive around you. Tygra and Dave didn't know what was going on with me until recently. But they had some idea that something was wrong, and so they were a very, very positive influence. They were very helpful. They listened to me, and I am recovering because of it. And if you surround yourself by positive people, and you actually talk to people who are sympathetic to you, who are willing to listen and not be judgmental, it will go a long way towards helping. Also, remember, don't let them put you on the pills. Don't let them put you on antidepressants. The side effects of that is awful. The side effects are awful. Just take a look at the side effects of a lot of the antidepressant medicines out there. You don't want to take them. Don't. I know you can never get rid of depression. It will always be there. I mean, the pills that are available are just a band-aid anyway, and they don't really help that much. So the best way to combat it, is to have positive people in your life. If you've got a lot of negative friends, then maybe it's time to get some new friends. Time to get some more positive friends. Bring more positivity in your life. Think more positively. Have more positive thoughts. Just all of that together helps, and exercise helps, which is why I get on the exercise bike. Not only because I've got to unfluffy, but because exercise is known to actually, make you feel better, and it makes you feel better physically and mentally at the same time. So you don't have to suffer alone, and don't bottle it in. There are ways to deal with it. I know you can never get rid of depression, but there are ways to deal with it, ways to manage it. Anyway, also, don't forget that if you want to help support this channel and Gamers Bay, we have a store on eBay. The link to that is in the description below. We focus on retro games for classic Xbox, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. We also have the Gamers Bay community, which is on MeWe. MeWe is a social media network that was co-founded by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who is the father of the World Wide Web. They are not a corporate entity, so they don't have a corporate political agenda. They don't censor you for wrongthink. You are allowed to be you there. Well, they, of course, they have certain rules or rules and stuff there, but you are allowed to have your own opinion. You are not punished for wrongthink in MeWe. You are allowed to have your own opinion. So it is, and it's also a privacy-focused social media network. We're not sponsored by them at all, and I will say their praises a lot because they are a really good social media network. There's a lot of FUD out there about MeWe because they don't censor people because of their political or religious views or whatever. They don't censor people for for that, like what Facebook does or what Twitter does. They don't do any of that. They don't do any of that. And also they don't run ads. So they're not beholden to advertising companies, which is also part of the problem with Facebook and also with YouTube, because they're not beholden to advertisers that are breathing down their neck and advertisers that have, political agendas. They're not beholden to them. But they make their money by selling. They have a $1.99 subscription for unlimited voice calling. They have themes, emote packs, and additional cloud storage. And the cloud storage they give you, as I said earlier, really goes a long way. And so Gamers Bay is moving to MeWe because Google Plus is shutting down. And MeWe is very much like Google Plus used to be back before that disastrous UI change that caused us to lose a lot of followers in the community. So the link to the Gamers Bay community as well as the Gamers Bay account timeline is in the description below here on YouTube. And I also have links to all the different social media that you can contact me via. Also, my Steam. You can friend me on Steam. I'll be adding my Origin on there soon, so that if you want to, if you're on Origin, you can also add me to Origin for playing. I like playing Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. So I play that. So if you want to put me on a friends list for that, I will add that to the list of contacts in the video description. Again, everybody who was watching, or to Rusi who came in the chat, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate all the encouraging words that everyone has had. I'm Mike TheZorch, and thanks for watching.